Hi all. As part of celebration of 23rd anniversary day of North Bengal Science Center Siliguri, we have organized an online popular lecture today. This lecture is being delivered by Dr. Ranadhir Chakraborty, Professor, Department of Biotechnology, University of North Bengal, Siliguri, on the topic Science and Technology in the coming 100 years. We extend our sincere gratitude to Professor Chakraborty for giving his valuable time and making this lecture possible. Let's listen in to him.
Well, as a part of celebration of 23rd anniversary day, North Bengal Science Center, I would like to offer my thanks to 𝐒𝐲𝐴 Biswas, who is the project coordinator, and Biswajit Kundu, education officer, North Bengal Science Center, for inviting me for this popular talk or popular science lecture. Now you are quite aware, the title of the talk is shown before you, the science and technology in the coming 100 years. If you look at this figure, this particular arrangement was done when man for the first time landed the vehicle on moon, and the entire that lunar vehicle which landed on the moon was controlled by a setup, and this is the whole setup of computer that you can see now. But today, when you have a smartphone in your hand, you believe it, that all the complexities that were handled by this mega computational complex at NASA now could be accommodated in a single smartphone. So therefore, the data that is being handled by a mobile, a small smartphone which is in your hand, has enormous capacity. And therefore, at present, there is no human to computer connectivity. There is a connectivity now which is now worked out, that is without human interference. There is a connectivity between the computers. And that's what we called about Internet of Things, that is possible when huge data is transported from a computer to a distant computer, and all these computers could be linked and they can do a job, right? So that's what we call the Internet of Things that has come into the picture in the last few years. So the Internet of Things is a system of interrelated computing devices, mechanical and digital machines, objects, animals or people. They are just provided with a unique identifiers and the ability to transfer data over a network without requiring human to human or human to computer interaction. So now in the whole world we find several hundred of Internet of Things getting occurred. Now the main point could be boiled down like this, that there are 5 things to say about the next 100 years in science. There will be more change in the next 50 years than what has happened in the last 400 years. Second very important thing, let me just tell you, that this will be a century of biology. It is the domain with most scientists, the most new result, the most economic value, the most ethical importance, and the most to learn. Number three, a very important thing to say, that is what is going to happen in the next 100 years in science, that computers will keep leading to a new ways of science. Information is growing by 66% per year, while physical production of an industry or anything which grows by only 7% per year. So the data volume is growing to a level which we call like zillionics. Now that zillionic or zillion is something to say that when it is abnormally huge data, we just call them, it is non-specific numericals is there. For example, trillion, you know what is trillion. You know what is billion, you know million. But when you talk about zillion, I mean extraordinarily large something when we speak about zillionics. So we are into the era of zillionics. Means huge data that we can expect from science to compile vast combinatorial libraries, to run combinatorial sweeps through possibility space, and to run multiple competing hypotheses in a matrix. So deep real-time simulation and hypothesis search, that is going to drive the data collection in the real world. So this is the third important thing that is going to happen in the next 100 years in science. And new ways of knowing will emerge. Now you think about the wiki-science, it is leading to perpetually refined papers with thousands of authors, which never happened in the last few years. And this distributed instrumentation and experiment, thanks to minuscule, transaction cost, that will yield smart mob, hive mind science operating in a very fast, cheap, and out of control. The negative results will have positive value. And now, very important thing is that triple blind experiments will emerge through massive, non-invasive statistical data collection. That means without harming in a person, if you want to get a data from a human body, so no one, not the subject or the experimenters, will realize that, experiment was going on until later. So new ways of knowing will emerge. And the fifth very important point that's going to happen in the next 100 years is science will create new levels of meaning. The internet already is made of 1 quintillion transistor, 1 trillion links, 1 million emails per second can occur, 20 exabytes. Now what is exabyte? 10 to the power 18 digital information. That is exabyte of memory. Okay, so it is approaching the level of human brain and is doubling every year, while brain is not. So it is all becoming effectively one machine, and we are the machine. So we talk now about the fourth industrial revolution, where there will be extreme automation, there will be connectivity, cyber and physical systems that is going to be driven by artificial intelligence. And therefore, what is happening? Different technologies are coming together. There is a convergence, the convergence of physics, chemistry, and biology. So physical, digital, and biological things are they're coming nearby each other. And this is affecting the entire social and economic sector. Already there are examples that are on the market like robotics, artificial intelligent limb, self-driving cars, virtual reality, 3D printing, Internet of Things, which I just talked about. There will be this, when you want to compute this huge amount of data, the simple computer will fail to do it. So therefore, quantum computing is on the verge, and which is going to be utilized by the scientists. There will be bioengineering, digital currency, and blockchains will come. So there will be surprising link between science fiction and economic history. And all these possibilities is going to be multiplied by the emerging technology, breakthrough in the fields such as what I just talked about, the artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things, autonomous vehicles, 3D printing, nanotechnology, biotechnology, material science, energy storage, and quantum computing. So what is already happening, this is the different technologies, they're coming together, they're bringing different areas together, and therefore new products and services are being offered for a better life. And these are the examples that we already have seen, that if you want to order a taxi, the Uber is happening. If you want to go for an accommodation of a hotel, Airbnb, anywhere in the world you can book your accommodation. So look at this, this particular slide, where you'll be finding that with time there is a huge increase of number of searches per day on Google. So in this day, when we are passing through the COVID-19 era, so we find that, you know, most of us, they are on your handset and you are Googling. So there are more than 3 billion searches. Maybe it has grown to 5 billions by this time on Google. And if it is so only this huge data volume, they are driven by artificial intelligence. Only this artificial intelligence has the power to analyze this data. So this huge data needs to be solved, because once you do not analyze the data, the knowledge is not generated. So there is a time for hyper-time compression. Exponential acceleration of automation is taking place. The smart sensors and 26 billion Internet of Things devices that has happened, you know, by 2020. Means we are passing through 2020, and this will become 11 trillion US dollar business by 2025. So even in biology there are big data, because large amount of information is coming. For example, if you think about the COVID-19 research, thousands and thousands of genomes are sequenced of a particular virus, and all the scientists are working on what has happened to the changes in its own genome. So there are what may be the future development support. There will be wireless networking, both fixed and the mobile. They continue their stepwise jumps in speeds, and this capacity, 5G and Wi-Fi 6 with megabit internet, is going to support this massive increase in the volume of manageable data. So there will be several future developments. In agriculture, if you want to man a big field, a robotic, a drone like this, which you are seen to be flying over the agricultural crop field, that is going to monitor each and every event that is happening on the field. And still then we need to grow our food, and that not only be restricted to the agricultural field. So in the laboratory you can grow hundreds and 100,000 tons of vegetables like this. So these are also to be manned by the robotics. So each and every, you see a robot which is going to observe before it plucks the crop. So there will be an explosion of tech-driven gains and innovation that have the potential to reshape many aspects of health and science. I will show you this picture. See, the small nano robots, they're working on our blood cells. So these are all red blood cells, which looks concave in nature. We will be having sweat-powered smartwatches. That means when the engineers of University of Glasgow, they have developed a new type of flexible supercapacitor, means which is going to store energy, which is going to replace the electrolyte found in conventional batteries with sweat. So it can be fully charged with as little as 20 microliters of fluid. So you can imagine what is 1 ml is, you know what amount is 1 ml. So when you divide that by 1000, that means 1000th part of an ml is a microliter. So 20 microliter of the fuel, it will be robust enough to survive 4,000 cycles of these types of flexes and bends it might encounter in use. So this type of conventional batteries, which are cheaper and more plentiful than ever before, they are often built using unsustainable materials, which are harmful to the environment. But when we think about a sweat-powered smartwatches, then that, these challenges are addressed. So look at this. This is the type of thing that is going to come out. The sweat from humans will be absorbed in the cloth. Both the separator and the substrate will wet the electrode, and the sweat electrodes, which are negative ions, will be absorbed to the positive electrode and vice versa. That's going to happen. Now this is very important. See, self-healing living concretes. Nowadays, the type of structure that you find, that whenever there is a crack, there is a deposition, you need to replace. But think about concrete that is going to self-heal, and that is going to be made out of nothing. It's made out of sand, gel, and bacteria. So the researchers said that this building material has structural load-bearing function, and it is capable of self-healing, and is more environmental friendly than concrete, which is the second most consumed material on earth after water. So the concrete will be, replaced by something which is going to heal by itself, and we call it as living concrete. Look at the picture. This is the self-healing living concrete made out of sand, bacteria, and gel. We'll have the living robots. Tiny hybrid robots will be built using stem cells from frog embryos, which could one day be used to swim around the human bodies to specific areas where medicine is required, or to gather microplastics in the oceans. And these are novel living machines, So they are neither a traditional robot nor a known species of animal. This is a new class of artifact, a living, programmable organism. See how it looks like. This is living robot. Now we are going to wear a t-shirt which is going to monitor your heart. So wearable sports bands that measure your heart rate are nothing new. But as numerous these studies have shown, the accuracy can vary. So therefore, using a single lead ECG printed into the fabric, this new t-shirt from smart material company 𝐒𝐞𝐢𝐴 will accurately measure heartbeats and upload them to the cloud via Bluetooth. So once there, algorithms is going to process this data to accurately direct irregular heartbeats such as arrhythmia heartbeats which could prove life-saving. And this is not just athletes who could benefit. So this is the picture of heart monitoring tissue. Now this is the type of smart needles which are going to be used in the future for detecting cancer. So a smart needle is being developed by the scientists in UK, which will speed up the cancer detection and diagnosis time. Now, when we diagnose lymphoma, it's a big process. Now, when you have a smart needle, it is going to reduce the patient's anxiety as they wait their results. So this new device, which you have just seen, will be using a technique called Raman spectroscopy. So a slow power laser will shine inside the part of the body which you are going to inspect. And with that, the spectra will be analyzed that what's wrong has happened there. So the Raman spectroscopy will be used in the smart needle, which can measure the molecular changes that are associated with the disease in the tissues and cells at the end of the needle. Now you think about the car that is going to be charged in 10 minutes. So the car batteries will be charged in 10 minutes. So when you go there, like filling your petrol or taking a coffee, that particular time will be enough to charge your battery that will run your car. So fast charging of the electrical vehicles is seen as a key to their takeoff. So motorists can stop at a service station, fully charge their car in time. It takes a coffee. Now, how does that occur? If the batteries could heat to 60 degrees Celsius for just 10 minutes and then rapidly cool down to ambient temperature, there will be lithium spikes which would not form, and this heat damage would be avoided. The battery design they have come up with is self-heating using a thin nickel foil which creates an electrical circuit that heats in less than 30 seconds to warm the inside of the battery. The rapid cooling that would be needed after the battery is charged would be done using the cooling system designed in the car. And this particular study, it is published in the journal called Joule, where they showed that they could fully charge an electrical vehicle in only 10 minutes time. So flexible electronic medical tattoos and stick-on sensors, they can take on the electrocardiogram. So you need not to go to a doctor for doing these electrocardiogram. You can download an app on your smartphone which will check your blood sugar and transmit these results seamlessly via Bluetooth. So it's mobile vital sign tracking, but at a level once found only in an intensive care unit. So you are going to carry all the devices in your hand and you not to go to an ICU. So look, this is a picture of how the electrocardiogram is being done on a smartphone. So there will be an explosion of health data. The sheer volume of healthcare data will be to an extent of 153 exabytes. So you can imagine 1 exabyte means 1 billion gigabytes. And 1 gigabyte means 10 to the power 9 digital information, bytes of digital information. So these enormous amount of knowledge, information will be produced, and it is being produced today in 2020. There will be smart contact lenses in the future which will be packed with thousands of biosensors, and they will be engineered to pick up early indicators of cancer and other conditions. Lenses now in development may someday measure blood sugar level in tears and help diabetics manage their diet and medication. Now look at this picture. This is a tactile virtual reality. Now those person who wants to feel what is happening but their hands are amputated, so you can have that reality. by having this tactile virtual reality. Northwestern University researchers, they have developed a prototype device which aims to put touch within virtual reality's reach. That means you can feel it using a flexible material which is fitted with tiny vibrating components that can be attached to the skin. Okay, so this epidermal VR or the virtual reality could be useful in other cases as well, from child touching a display, relaying the gesture to a family member located elsewhere, to helping people with amputation renew their sense of touch. So there will be a lot of implantable devices which may include a radio frequency ID chip under your skin, and that's going to keep all your medical records, or a subcutaneous sensor which is continuously is going to monitor your blood chemistry. So these things are, this is how this can be implanted in your skin. So there will be a boom in research into the human microbiome. That means entire human body has lot of trillions of bacteria, and they actually contribute to the human health. So therefore, more and more we understand about the genetics and the linkages between these trillions of bacteria in the human body. So in future, there will be microbiome therapy by which many of our diseases we can get rid of. So there will be robotic supports for patients with severe mobility problems like this. So these are all already in the market. This is how a person who do not have an arm is being connected with a device which is more than that of an artificial limb. This is something which is produced from India, and I happen to be a part of it because I have checked this manuscript. Already now we are going into a COVID time. So every time when a COVID patient sneezes or exhales, thousands and thousands of viruses come out. So when you inhale and when you exhale, at both the time, if we can kill the viruses, then the entire environment will be free of viruses. How it is being done? You can have an inhaler, like things with electrostatic sterilizer, and we use cationic amphiphilic peptides, which is going to accelerate the recovery of COVID-19. So this is something which was discovered from IIT Kharagpur. See how it works. This is a micronet, electrodes are there. There is a one-way valve, and this electrostatic sterilizers do the job when you inhale and exhale. At both point of time, air in and out, there is a valve mechanism. So this is a schematic presentation of a proposed, which is a smart inhaler with electrostatic sterilizers. That means the small viral particle will be burnt into ashes when they pass through this. You have a cathode plate and an anode plate. There is a HEPA filter. So when the virus comes out of your mouth, okay, so it becomes a virus-free air outlet. So thank you all of you for the kind patience.
Hope you have enjoyed today's popular lecture. You can add your valuable comments in the comment section below. If you have liked our video, do not forget to press like and share buttons. For more videos like this, please press the subscribe button. Keep following our Facebook page for more interesting scientific programs. Stay well, take care, and thank you.